On April 1st, 2022, Reddit launched to the world a blank canvas.
One comprised of 1,000 by 1,000 pixels.
A place where anyone could draw anything with enough manpower.
It was art. Art for the masses, by the masses.
This wasn't the first time that Reddit had launched an experiment like this, the first one being in 2017.
But this was unlike any other.
An ever-expanding canvas with a community larger and more dedicated than anyone could have expected.
With it spawning war and peace, light and dark, love and death, but most poignantly of all, stories.
This is the story of the dragon that could. Our story begins here, with this.
This is in fact not a crested gecko, but our community's first attempt at trying to draw a dragon. The Welsh dragon.
Ah, yes. The Welsh Stegosaurus.
After establishing our initial borders, there was momentary peace. Our dragon?
He's trying his best, okay?
But then came conflict. What was the conflict, Shane?
The first war of the dragon. The first enemy of our beloved Stegosaurus. Poland.
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help! My leg!
We fought as hard as we could, but it was a massacre. Poland was simply too powerful. Suspiciously powerful. Very early it was proven to us that it was much easier to bot red and white pixels than drawing a whole fucking dragon. The bitter taste of defeat lingered in our community's mouths. It was terrible.
The quest for refuge began. Our dragon required relocation. We had to retreat from Poland. So we decided to invade the UK. It was nothing personal.
The invasion was in preparation. Our men had their pixels at the ready, and attack began. To demonstrate our attack, this is the UK. This is our war. Bit rough. Our efforts, though grand, proved to be futile. And so, we searched for an easier target. And across the sea of pixels, we found Serbia. In our minds, Serbia was ripe for the taking. A perfect show of power for our dragon. But little did we know there was a surprisingly large, relatively brain-dead community that was mistaking the Serbian flag for the Russian one. I mean, like, I understand, but come on, man. These people, relatively brain-dead, were griefing the fuck out of it for obvious politically charged reasons that I'm not going to get into due to the sake of monetization. Again, our efforts were proved to be futile. We lost to the random pixels. Hope for our dragon was dissipated. We truly felt failure, for in the short term, the sting of defeat is far more poignant than the triumph of victory, and hope was almost gone. But a covert underground operation was happening in a Discord that we had created, with the goal of organizing the best dragon that we could design. It was at this point the community was beginning to gain some traction. We had popularity on our side. It began with about 13 people, but by this time we had nearly 200, and with new people came new hope. Hope to have our dragon cemented in the history of r/place.
80-30, bitch! 81-30, 81-30, 81-30. See this shit up here? That's 81-30. Guess what we're doing up there? That's right. Welsh Dragon 81-30 means 81-30. I cannot begin to express the fact that we are going 81-30.
We scoured the map to find a place to put our dragon, and if you didn't get the memo, we found a place. 81-30. Here began the 81-30 movement, a small space in the top left corner of r/place. After much experience, we found out that it was extremely difficult to eyeball a design for a dragon. I mean, Canada couldn't do with a fucking leaf, so cut me some slack, bucko. So we decided to follow a design. A man known only as OLL Commander stepped up to the plate, this being the first of his many designs. From there, we had everything we needed to build the dragon once again. We established our initial borders right here. Fortunately, there was the leftovers of a YouTube logo that acted as the base of our dragon. As we began to mold the dragon, we realized the pixels were slightly off. We needed some way to know exactly where to place these pixels. Noticing we were beginning to mold the red into the dragon, a benefactor from our community known only as Quachi Stuff decided to send us an overlap of the template, which would prove to be very helpful in the efforts to create the dragon. With this overlap came specific numbers for how large our dragon and the flag would be, but our community was split. One half was following the template, knowing exactly where each pixel would go, and the other half was unnecessarily adding bits by eyeballing whatever the hell they wanted to. We needed to fix the split. We found that the easiest way to do this was by establishing specific coordinates to each pixel. This would make the process of creating the dragon much more streamlined and easier for the community. And so, that's exactly what we did. A bright coder known as Cheerslove wrote a program that could establish each coordinate to a specific pixel.
We also had an artist called Jaffa Cake who redesigned our flag in a program with specific coordinates.
And so we had everything we needed. All that was required was the time to get the dragon in place. We had the template, the overlay, and the final design. Everything was running smoothly. Peace was awry until the Fire Nation attacked. We had now become a powerful resident in the area that we had found ourselves. But our neighbors were far more formidable than us. If you notice, to the right of our dragon stood an ancient community that had been there far longer than us. This was the Attack on Titan community. There had been relative peace between Wales and Attack on Titan, with both of us remaining in a silent neutrality. Our relationship was quaint and fit for mutual development, especially of the artwork that we were planning to get on the r/place canvas. That was right, until the shaft attacked. If there is one thing the internet loves, it's dicks. And so he said, let there be dicks. Creeping in from CSGO were the griefers and trolls who had decided to come together and take the already developing CSGO man penis all the way from CSGO and across to Eren from Attack on Titan's mouth. But the only way that they could do this was by going through us. And so, the Shaft War began. Now the Dicks' forces were surprisingly strong. In this video that I have, it takes them literally one frame to stretch from the CSGO man all the way into Eren's mouth. The Dick was proving to be a strong attacker. We tried to see what communities were doing this, but we couldn't track it anywhere. None of the pixels that were being placed were coming from any specific communities. These were people who saw a Dick and mutually agreed to continue the Dick without coordination, without loyalty to a community. Men with nothing to lose. The attack was harsh enough to force us to send all of our men to fight, and fight we did. We called upon our neighbours and allies and formed alliances to fight the penis. Egypt below us helped. Wales and Attack on Titan came together as one community temporarily to push the Dick back from Eren's mouth. This was a matter of urgency. Every man had their pixel at the ready. Something I have learned from my days in the Dick War. A penis may be prevalent in all art forms, but Dick fever is only temporary. People will do, but they will not commit. And so, for that reason, we won. Our first victory. And our dragon stood there, stronger than ever. The war was hard fought. The communities had suffered many casualties through the form of 20-minute cooldowns against the Dick. However, despite the horrific nature of war, we had undoubtedly grown closer to our fellow neighbouring communities. We were stronger than ever. It seemed peace would remain throughout the land for the near future. We had time to bask in pleasant festivities. The canvas at this point had doubled in size due to the vast amount of people joining r/place. With this doubling in size came a doubling in the amount of colours that we could use that would prove to be helpful in making our dragon become alive. We formed a heart with Egypt for the help against the CSGO comp, but due to griefers and randoms, it quickly became undoubtedly disintegrated. Plans for a future heart were formed, but in the meantime our community would enjoy our biggest issue being peaceful dragon maintenance. No news was good news. Little did we know, however, winds from the east were picking up.
John Dillerman, a lovable caricature or a freak social experiment? Whatever he is, he's actually quite funny. He's a Danish children's TV show character with a comically large penis. A middle-aged man with an enormous penis that would stretch out his clothes and help him in dire situations. Obviously, r/place loved this shit, and therefore decided to put it on the final campus. Only, they didn't stop. The dick began growing and growing to insurmountable size and width. It was too much for us to sustain.
It swiftly penetrated through the Attack on Titan Iron Head and moved down under us, attacking us from the lower side. But this was not our first rodeo against the Cocks. By this time, our numbers had doubled. We were far more powerful than we were before, and the previous alliances we had formed helped us in our struggle to reclaim space against this fictional character's phallic areas. We quickly fought the dick back. It was no longer on our land. We sent forces to fight against the Cock in the Iron Head, but for now, peace had returned, and our dragon was safe. Or so we thought. To look at the bigger picture may bring perspective to your own problems. Despite there not being a direct attack on our land, chaos was consuming our surroundings. To our left, CSGO was being infected by the sus, a terrible disease that had struck havoc throughout the map. The sus was much like Where's Wally, or Waldo if you come from America. You look everywhere you can see and it seems that they're always hiding in plain sight, right there beyond your eyes, in absolutely everything, to the point where it even infected us. The sus spread to Genshin, or at this point gay shit, who were directly above us. Our area was in ruins. The Dillerman dick had retreated, but this was simply a diversion.
Instead, it went around the top of Attack on Titan and headed down towards the speech mark. In doing so, the Cock invaded us once again. It continued attempting to invade CSGO, but it kept moving back towards us. This was at the same time Lemanberg were trying to attack our flag by trying to expand their flag from below us. During a possible sus invasion, everything was failing. We had nowhere to run, and again, we sought after help. The Cock was getting out of control. We were fighting back for our land, but we needed extra manpower.
Our community had done a good job at defending the dragon. We had fought off the Cock's forces and re-established our border against Lemanberg. In doing so, we forced the Dillerman dick back through the Attack on Titan's head and well away from us. But we were still shook, for this was our second Cock war. We noticed to our left that CSGO was not only doing an excellent job at fighting off their sus infection, but also slaying the Cock that had invaded their territory. This was due to one factor. CSGO had a streamer on their side. The man known as OniPixel, who frequently plays CS to an average of about 2,000 viewers, had decided to aid in the fight to get CSGO more space on the board. This could either prove to be an overwhelming threat or a very useful ally. We just needed to play our cards right. I messaged the streamer in his chat informing him that I was the organizer of the r/Wales Place Discord, and I got into a call with him.
Hey, Wales, bro, what's up?
We made an agreement stating that the space above us, where the SS13 clown and the Fortnite logo had been, would be theirs, so that they could create a silver logo in that place. And in turn, we would have in heart together an official, contractual alliance. And so, after a vote, we signed one. This space was already being blacked out, so I thought, hey, no harm done.
By the way, CSGO loves Wales, yeah? Just a little something to leave you to think with.
And so, as celebration, I sent him this. This marked a moment of power for our dragon. We had alliances with all of our neighbors. However, the new alliance with CSGO was seen as controversial within the community. You see, the streamer was accused of misusing his power when it was revealed that it was he that was blacking out the area above.
First of all, let's all make it black. Let's make it black. Let's make that shit black, bro.
This angered the people that came from those communities, and they voiced this to us. It's a dog-eat-dog world in r/place. No one blames the man for what he did. He thirsted for territory and he took it. That's just how it works in this place. But one thing I've learned from this experience is that, much like cock fever, streamer power is only temporary.
The community was angry, We were used to fight against our allies. Wales was in the wrong, but we wanted to fix our immoralities.
So we scrapped the agreement and we decided to help our fellow clown community. And so, with the fall of the heart, began the plot against CS. We understood that we couldn't fight them alone. We needed backup. We knew the streamers were uncoordinated and lacked access to information. We could easily formulate a secret attack with our allies. First, we contacted Egypt, who proved to be an extremely loyal and powerful ally. It seemed Egypt too thirsted for land and saw an opportunity to take what they sorely needed, and so did we. Fueled by the betrayal of CSGO and their fiendish acts, we worked efficiently to place a design where the CSGO logo was. So I contacted Egypt,
تعويلز هيظبط معانا
and we brainstormed ideas to truly show the connection that Wales and Egypt had. It would symbolize all the fighting and conflict that we had succeeded in together. So we decided to create a forgie. It's like a pharaoh and a corgi. Wales has no association with the furry community. We also had the SS13 clown community backing us, and so were the Animal Crossing people. Oh, little sidebar, this froggy chair right here is the Animal Crossing people. To be honest, we just like the look of it. I mean, that's why it's just sitting there next to our dragon.
The initial plan was to take back the land that SS13 had stripped away from them. In doing so, Fortnite managed to form once again, and so it was time to put the main bulk of the plan into action. We would begin by sending sheep into Counter-Strike. Godspeed. Which would storm into Counter-Strike and act as our first line of defense. Once we had infiltrated, our plan was to take over the entire design. But then, something unexpected happened.
As we were about to place our sheep, the Dillamond cock returned. It loomed down from above us, and as it creeped closer, we feared what it could do. Except, rather than invading us, it began attacking CSGO. After all the war and conflict against the cocks, after the trauma of the shaft wars and the Cockflict, it seemed we needed to put our differences aside and take this opportunity by the balls. And so we sent our sheep in, immediately seizing the opportunity for growth. We worked closely with Egypt to fight, sending in all of our sheep so we could immediately take over the area. All was running smoothly. But then...
Admi, do we have to behead Dragon?
I'm sure we can come to a diplomatic conclusion.
This is not part of the agreement, sir, and we already had problems with snake attacks.
I'm sorry, friend, but the Wales and CS alliance in the left corner is scrapped. The people have spoken. We will help you move if you wish to be diplomatic, otherwise it seems there is no other option than war.
Wales will get destroyed, trust me. I will call upon my streamer friends. Big mistake, guys. Say goodbye.
Fear shook the dragon. It seemed we had made a mistake. The beheading of our dragon seemed imminent. And with this, memories of the Poland conflict came surging back. We could not let this happen again. And as I sat there staring at the computer, the words that I had learned before began echoing in my mind. Much like cock fever, stream of power is only temporary. We fight. I contacted Egypt.
Defend each other to the end? Wales has your back. It seems war is inevitable.
Have I got much of a choice, really?
I think cutting ties with CSGO and defending each other and allies to the bone is the way. I'll get Egypt in with CS if we need to come to a diplomatic solution later, but for now, we have the men to fight.
Good luck, my friend, and God bless you. We are already on the defense. Alert us if anything changes.
I shall. Wales is with you, brother. We shall reign victorious. Hug emoji.
We were ready. This was like nothing we had ever experienced before. The Cocks were aimless communities with no coordination, no loyalty, and very little hope of success. But the streamers, they undeniably had power. But it seemed the words that echoed in my mind were true, for streamer power is only temporary. Because nothing happened. Nothing came from these threats. Streamer power is only temporary. And it seemed our dragon would live another day.
Once the streamers had given up, everything fell peaceful across r/place. Calm across the communities, each community allowing the other to do exactly as they pleased. Our top left corner was very cozy at this time. We had learned to live next to CSGO. In fact, had even built a small border around our sheep in order to maintain its logo. By this time, we were offering the sheep to other communities to symbolize alliances. The main taker of this was the LGBTQ community, who left us with an amazing array of rainbow sheep at the end of r/place. Our dragon was content.
At this time, we were clueless as to when r/place would end. The moderators were being purposefully vague about it. All we knew is it would end that night. And as we were replacing pixels and adding shades, we noticed that the only thing that we could add to the 4 million pixels that stretched across the canvas was white. People thought that it was a glitch, a sick bug that had taken over place. But really, it was the designer's poetic way of ending this chaos. The white, despite actually not drawing anything, revealed everything. We saw the botters who claimed they weren't. We saw the void be truly consumed by the light. We saw the final penis on the r/place canvas. But most importantly, for our community at least, we saw the past. Most didn't want to let go of their designs, as for them it was a foreign concept. But as our dragon was inevitably consumed by this process, our community reminisced on what had just happened 2 days prior. The whiteout of Poland. The first time we were eradicated, we were defeated. But it allowed our community to create a stronger bond with each other and come together to create something far greater than we ever could have anticipated. This whiteout was just a continuation of the cycle. And it seemed that learning from the defeat of Poland, learning from the experiences we had been through, our community had no choice but to be optimistic about the future. And as all became none, we rejoiced. So actually, the end of r/place was officially the end of r/place. The white and everything, the poetic ending. But there was a small community known as the Final Clean, who decided to take every little community's piece of art and try and make it the most refined that it can possibly be. And so, the final design for us, for our community, for our dragon, was this beautiful thing. Isn't it amazing, Joshua?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah. Wow. Do you wanna say some words about the bot team?
Shout out the bot team.
Shout out bot team.
You're doing God's work over there. Really, thank you very much.
So, a confession. Despite the white not revealing, we did actually have a bot in the Welsh community. It wasn't no bitch bot though. We had some guy. He's a cool guy. Rolled 16, cool guy, and Simok. They both worked on, I think World 16 mainly, both worked on the bot for the Welsh community. It was very helpful. Big thanks to the bot team that spent so much time on it. Great job, honestly, great job. So, subscribe to the channel if you want to. Get in here. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. Say it. Say it! Subscribe! And like the video. Yeah, so we'll see you next time. Peace. So, what are we doing?
We're recording an outro.
I mean, I know we're recording an outro, but why?
To thank the kind viewers at home for watching our video.
Why the fuck would I do that? I made it!
We made it, and they're taking time out of their day to watch our piece of content.
Thank you. Was that good?
Yeah, it'll do.
And as always, good morning, good evening, and good night.
And good night.
And good night.